Twitter was completely wrong about Pragmata. I want to go over 3 tweets across my timeline, and I really want to give an informative, detailed, heavy analysis based on my own working life, tutoring kids, caring for kids, supporting kids, having a whole experience, while I really want to give an informative, intellectual analysis that's going to really break down some blocks and open new perspectives up. Don't worry, there's 0 spoilers in this video. There's only a clip 30 minutes into the game. Very minor clip completely. So yeah, the first tweet is as bad as it gets. It's a quote from a podcaster. Childless men do not have paternal instincts the way that childless women have maternal instincts. Men first experience paternal instincts once they have their own children, and typically those paternal instincts are only ever felt for their own children and no one else's. Men are not nurturers. Men don't gush over cute kids in public. Men don't have baby fever. If a man wants to possess a child for any other reason than it being a product of his own lineage, he is likely a predator. And you'd be taking the feminist, radical gender abolitionist position to protest any of the points above. This should explain why Dad Simulator, game marketed to mostly childless men, gives people the creeps. It's safe to say this comment is really wrong, and it's bad, and it's a perspective that really endangers a lot of men from expressing their emotional capacity. Men possess the innate qualities to care, love, and nurture, irrelevant of the common stereotype of men being protectors, which they can be. But besides that, men also do love to be soft with children. Pragmata is no different. Tons of men, including myself, have felt an affection for Diana and a whimsical nature that brings up a paternal love and care for an android and a need to protect her and cover her from harm's way. Men aren't soulless creatures like she's describing, like some sort of demonic entity. We're emotional, we laugh, we cry, we feel pain, and it doesn't matter whether it's someone else's child or our child. We'll want to protect them and we'll want to support them. We see the defenseless nature of a child and we want to help them. But furthermore, I think a big reason why men don't gush or show a deep emotional public affection for children is because they'll be labelled as creepy or overly emotional, and that might be one of the worst things you can be labelled as. This generation of men is trying to break the box more than ever and be open, be more emotional than the previous generations ever were, and it's an amazing start, and to any man that's doing that, I'm proud of you. She may have been traumatized and hurt in the past by one, and I hope she heals from that and finds a new perspective to see men from in the future. The second tweet I found is, following on from this tweet, will help me argue against the predator comments more solidly. And seeing this tweet, yeah, sure, there are creeps that can invade any space. I don't think me or you are naive to that. I do not believe this character or the design it's made with is built for creeps or for sexualization. I think it's built for innocence and attachment. Diana is essentially an adorable doll, both in personality and design. The game clearly wants to offer as much attachment as it can to the consumer. From the gameplay that bonds you with Diana, as you and her use combinations and puzzle solving in this amazing father-daughter relationship to take down opponents, or the cute collectibles being interactable items for Diana where you get to talk to her more, learn from her more, and you see her even play with those like the slide.
Should I climb up it? Aw, this slide's too small for Hugh. I wanted to slide down together.
This illustrates clearly how the game is focused on emphasizing Diana's cuteness and using that as a link between you and her, not just between Hugh and Diana, but between you, the user, you, the consumer. It threads a deep emotional connection right into your heart, which is seen quite clearly in the combat. When I had a decision between dodging or taking the hit and killing the opponent, I chose to dodge. I chose to dodge quite quickly as well, because I didn't want Diana to get hurt, and that is a result of her design and her actions and her voice. Pragmata in no sense is a creepy game or a game that does weird things to Diana. In fact, it goes out of her way to make her seem as adorable and as sweet as possible. People that allude to it being creepy need to play the game. Once you do, you will not complain. Furthermore, I never skipped her dialogue, and I can guess I'm not alone in this. I've worked with kids, and more than anything, giving them attention and listening to them dearly is a great thing to do. And even though she's an android, and even though she's a video game character, you still want to give her that time and attention and caring ear to show that you respect her. And in no way is anything done creepily. And that's where I move on to the next tweet. If Capcom's goal with Pragmata was to make everyone who plays this game want to be a parent, then they've done an amazing job. I always sit back when Diana starts playing and think to myself, so this is what having a daughter is like. Now, I may get in trouble for this, but I disagree here by a lot. And I've seen a lot of people talk about this or say something similar to this, and I believe they've made the miscalculations of believing Pragmata and raising children are alike. I've spent a lot of time with kids across my years. I've had to tutor them, I've had to care for them, I've had to teach them stuff like martial arts, Muay Thai, and I've met a whole range of kids. Every kid is different, but what I can say is they're adorable, they're goofy, and they are sometimes kind as can be. But they also don't understand your boundaries at times. They can't read social cues at times. They can push their needs across yours. Some will want to eat sweets and just refuse to eat anything else. Some kids will scream down a restaurant. Others will love to play fight to the point of hurting you, pulling your hair, etc., etc. Diana does not represent the full scale of what it means to have a child at all. She's a representation of cuteness in a robot, a way to gain attachment between the game and the consumer, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not a perfect example of what having a kid's like. If we actually take a look at a game released in 2013, a game called The Last of Us, we can clearly see what really having a kid can look like.
Running off like that, putting yourself at risk, it's pretty goddamn stupid.
Well, I guess we're both disappointed with each other then.
What do you want from me?
Admit that you wanted to get rid of me the whole time.
Tommy knows this area
Oh,
better
fuck
than...
that.
Well, I'm sorry. I trust him better than I trust myself.
Stop with the bullshit. What are you so afraid of? That I'm gonna end up like Sam? I can't get infected. I can take care of myself.
How many close calls have we had?
Well, we seem to be doing all right so far.
And now you'll be doing even better with Tommy.
Not her, you know.
What?
Maria told me about Sarah.
Ellie?
And
You are treading on some mighty thin ice here.
This scene shows so quickly the difficulties of father-daughter relationship. The tight bonds that we've held inside the deepest pits of our soul are exposed to another person consistently. And it can be extremely difficult to navigate that and express it to another person while that person is growing up. Anger, frustration, sadness, hurt that's buried can quickly be brought up, and it's your duty to navigate with it and work through your emotions as you help them with theirs. It's your duty to work with them, find solutions, and explain so you can set a good example and show them the best way of living life. Beating them, screaming at them, shouting at them will then just make them adopt similar patterns in the future. It isn't a one-way solution. That's where Pragmata doesn't hit the mark in this regard, as it's focused on cuteness and attachment over a deeply interpersonal relationship with struggle, love, care, forgiveness, and hurt. And a child is an amazing, wonderful thing, but I don't think the majority of gamers that look at Diana actually want a child, even if they think they do. They want a niece or a nephew. They want a younger cousin, where they can be a good example, play with them, admire their adorableness, without being bombarded with the contrast of having a kid, the day-to-day struggles or tiredness, or the responsibility. There's nothing wrong, and in fact, there's nothing wrong with being the cool aunt or uncle. That's one of the best things you can be. It will teach you so much about the perks of having a kid while slowly dipping your toes into the downsides. And as we can see, this segues into my final tweet, which I definitely will not read, where a lot of people on Twitter seemingly follow this narrative, and hopefully you can see from the previous tweets of me talking about relationships and children and raising them and the complications and the beauty and the pain. especially with videos like the Ellie and Joel relationship. Parenting is far more than having a cute pet, and in today's modern era, where there's a housing crisis and incessant worrying about jobs, people don't care about raising a child because they can't even survive on their own. They can't even live their own life. So how can you live another's life? How can you support another's life? Like before, you have to care for a child's world that needs and protect them. It's complicated and it's near impossible when you're juggling your own and falling apart. To put it simply, when people feel comfortable, stress-free and secure, they'll want kids. A video game won't light up their world like that, and it won't remove all the blockages in real life. Because no matter how adorable Diana is, she doesn't deserve to be brought up in a world where her parents can barely handle themselves.